Bills Mafia, how's everybody doing today? Before we jump into today's breaking update, let me start the way this team has been living every single day. The Buffalo Bills are working relentlessly to get better, to adjust, to grow, and to bring the results this city deserves. Through injuries, roster changes, and adversity, this team keeps searching for ways to improve. So before we dive into a huge developing story that impacts both sides of the ball, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and buckle in, because we've got a lot to cover today. Bills Mafia, if you want to check out the official Buffalo Bills store, the link is in the description and in the comment. Tons of new Sideline gear and hoodies available. Bills Mafia, let's start with the headline that every fan woke up to today. Joey Bosa is expected to miss time, and that is no small loss. According to Cameron Wolfe of NFL Network, Bosa suffered a hamstring injury during the Week 13 victory over the Steelers. And while the Bills hope he'll only miss a game or two, the truth is that an extended absence is very possible. He didn't participate in Wednesday's practice and is also dealing with a wrist issue. Put all of that together, and it becomes increasingly likely that he misses Sunday's matchup against the Bengals. And let me be clear, this injury hits hard. Through 13 weeks, Bosa has been not just productive, he's been dominant. Team-leading 5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 41 total pressures, 16% pass rush win rate, 90.1 pass rush grade from PFF, 5th in the entire NFL among edge rushers. Bills Mafia, that is elite. This is the Joey Bosa the Bills hoped they were getting when they brought him in during the offseason. Not the version we saw last year, the one who played 14 games with just 5 sacks. This has been a true bounce-back season, a resurgence, and a huge part of why the Bills' defense has held firm through injuries everywhere else. And now, the Bills need to survive without him, at least temporarily. The Bills' defensive depth is about to be tested again. Rookie defensive tackle TJ Sanders is expected to see more snaps at defensive end, something that may surprise some fans, but not the coaching staff. Buffalo has been slowly preparing for this possibility. The second-round pick wasn't typically used as an edge rusher in college, but his athleticism makes him an intriguing fit in Buffalo's 4-3 scheme. And here's the key. In 2 of his last 3 games, Sanders posted his best PFF grades of the season. In those games, he lined up on the edge for 37 snaps, compared to just 1 snap inside. That tells you everything. The Bills have been grooming him for this moment. Then there's Javon Solomon, the 2024 fifth-rounder who has primarily played on special teams. He should see an increase in defensive snaps as well, and this will be his first real opportunity to show what he can do in the rotation. Buffalo could also elevate a defensive end from the practice squad, where they have Morgan Fox, Andre Jones, and Shaq Lawson. None of them have seen game action this year, but one could dress on game day to fill Bosa's roster spot. Still, the heavy lifting will fall to Sanders and Solomon. The good news? The Bills remain optimistic that Bosa won't require an IR stint, which is crucial because IR would sideline him for at least 4 weeks with 0 practice allowed. Buffalo clearly believes he can return sooner, and that's a positive sign. But the timing isn't great. The Bills are fighting for playoff positioning, the AFC is a battlefield, and every game from this point forward matters. Now let's shift to the offensive side of the ball because we've also got good news. Tight end Dalton Kincaid is trending core to return, and this could not come at a better time. It will be almost a month since he last appeared in a game, the November 9th loss to the Miami Dolphins, but Bills head coach Sean McDermott revealed this week that Kincaid is officially practicing in a limited capacity and is making real progress. Last week, he practiced twice leading into the Steelers game and was listed as questionable, but ultimately sat. But that questionable designation was telling. It meant he was close. And this week, McDermott confirmed he's one of the injured offensive starters who are back on the field, even if limited. Bills Mafia, that is a great sign. Remember what Kincaid brings to this offense. 29 catches on 36 targets, 448 yards, 4 touchdowns and 15.4 yards per catch, highest among all Bills receivers with at least 20 grabs. And he did all of that while playing only 42% of the offensive snaps. He was the team's most efficient pass catcher when healthy. Losing him has been a challenge. Allen's security blanket, his seam-stretching mismatch, his third-down weapon, all sidelined with the same type of soft tissue injury that can linger if not treated carefully. Buffalo's offensive rhythm simply hasn't been the same without him. Because of Kincaid's absence, undrafted tight end Kalenki Latu has been elevated for several weeks. But here's the complication. Latu has now burned through his practice squad elevations. The only way to play him again is to add him to the active roster, which would mean cutting someone else. That's not ideal, especially if Kincaid is expected back any week now. That means the Bills could simply roll with 2 active tight ends, Dawson Knox and Jackson Howard. This is not unfamiliar territory. They did the same thing earlier this year against the Atlanta. And don't forget, fullback Reggie Gilliam can play tight end-like roles when needed. So for now, the Bills will navigate this carefully while preparing to reintegrate Kincaid as soon as he's cleared. Let's zoom out for a second. The Bills are fighting through a brutal stretch of the season with injuries everywhere. Starting tackles, starting linebackers, receivers, defensive pieces, special teams contributors. Now their leading pass rusher is down, but their most efficient pass catcher may return. This is what makes the NFL chaotic. Your fortunes can change week to week. Buffalo needs Joey Bosa back as soon as possible. They need Dalton Kincaid back as soon as possible. They need every snap, every yard, every spark from the roster as they push toward January football. This is a moment where great teams show who they really are. Cornerback Christian Benford, yes, the same 6th-round Villanova product who came into this league with almost no hype, has officially been named AFC Defensive Player of the Week for Week 13. And let me tell you something, he absolutely earned it. This wasn't a quiet big game. This wasn't one of those performances where you need to rewind the film. No, Benford was everywhere. He made impact plays that directly changed the outcome of the Bills' win over the Steelers. Let's break down exactly what happened. Early in the second half, the Steelers came out trying to establish momentum. But Bosa, and remember this was before his injury, came off the edge like a missile and absolutely blasted Aaron Rodgers from behind. Ball comes out, chaos everywhere. And who's there? Christian Benford, scooping it up in stride and taking it to the house. That touchdown wasn't just big, it gave the Bills their first lead of the game, 10-7, with almost the entire second half still ahead. It shifted the tone of the game, it shifted the energy in the stadium, and it put the Steelers on their heels. But Benford wasn't done. Less than 2 minutes later, literally on the next Steelers possession, Mason Rudolph stepped in because Rodgers was injured on the Bosa hit. Rudolph tried to test Benford right away. Bad idea. Benford read it perfectly, jumped the route, and picked it off at the Bills' 44-yard line. 8 plays later, Buffalo found the end zone and stretched the lead to 16-7. That sequence, touchdown then interception, was the turning point of the entire game. That's superstar-level momentum swinging. That's game-changing football. Here's the part that makes this all even more impressive. Christian Benford became just the 3rd Bills player ever, and the first since 2010, to record a fumble return touchdown and an interception in the same game. That puts him in rare territory, and it puts the league on notice. Now, if the turnovers weren't enough, let's talk about what might actually be the most impressive part of his game. He shadowed DK Metcalf and didn't allow a single catch. Let that sink in. DK Metcalf, one of the most physically dominant receivers in the NFL. 0 receptions against Christian Benford. We're watching a guy who's not just playing well, he's becoming a legitimate shutdown corner right in front of our eyes. If you've been paying attention, you know this didn't come out of nowhere. Since Week 8, Benford has stepped up in a big way. Over the last 5 weeks, while traveling with opposing number 1 receivers, he's allowed 8 receptions, 109 yards allowed total, on 15 targets. That's elite-level efficiency. And the names he's been lined up against, Not scrubs, not depth receivers, legit weapons. Tytara McMillan, Emeka Egbuka, Nico Collins, DK Metcalf. And he's answered the bell every single week. Let's not forget this part. The Bills just signed Benford to a significant contract extension this offseason. They believed in him. They invested in him. And right now, it looks like they absolutely nailed it. He's not just holding his own. He's not just improving. He's becoming a cornerstone of this defense. And with Joey Bosa now sidelined for multiple weeks, Benford's emergence is even more important. The Bills need defensive playmakers. They need tone setters. They need guys who can flip possessions and momentum. Benford is becoming one of those guys. So, Bills Mafia, we've got two major storylines. Joey Bosa is out, and his absence will be felt. And Dalton Kincaid is trending upward and could finally return. Now let me hear from you. How confident are you in the Bills' defensive depth without Bosa? And when Kincaid returns, do you think he changes this offense immediately? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know exactly how Bills Mafia feels. And before you go, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for non-stop Bills updates. Official Buffalo Bills gear, new drops, and exclusive items, all in the link below. Check it out, Bills Mafia. Thanks for watching, Bills family. I'll see you in the next one.